Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston, and today we are continuing our color review. And you saw the thumbnail. We are talking about OP-08, the Two Legends blue color right now. And I've been talking about in every video about what my expectations were throughout the set release, and I've really looked forward to blue. I think the leader is incredible. And just on leader alone, I'm excited for it. So let's jump into the cards and see what actually came of it. Alright, let's jump into the leader. We talked about it in the red. We'll talk about it again here. Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn. Draw one card and place one card from your hand to the top or bottom of your deck. Afterwards, up to one of your opponent's characters get minus 2,000 power during this turn. So this is a very, very nice effect. By attaching one Dawn, you get to draw a card, and then set up for combos with that placing to the top of your deck, or completely get rid of a card that is bricking your hand by sending it to the bottom, and then set up for KO potential with a minus 2,000 power. That KO potential coming mostly from the red side, where you do minus power and do KO stuff. So there's that. I think this is a great leader to set up, and it sets itself up for combos. It sets up its board state to do KOs with event cards and gives you a lot of potential. Now, with that being said, I think the Whitebeard Pirates that came out this set are very weird. Their 2K counter is an activate main. You have to reveal cards from your hand, which is a very weird cost. Not weird in it doesn't happen in card games. It happens in card games all the time. Excuse me. It happens in card games all the time, where you reveal cards to get an effect. It's a good cost. And it's a cost that you can abuse, because as soon as you reveal two cards from your hand, you can continue to reveal those same two cards. So gaining 2,000 power for game knowledge of two cards is interesting. And that effect carries over to a couple cards. Reveal one, do a thing, gains quick attack. And this is reveal one card from the top of your deck, which is really interesting. So you can reveal a card from your hand, activate leader ability, put one of those cards to the top of your deck. Activate this card's on play, show the same card that they just showed, gain quick, what they're calling quick attack in this translation, which is rush. So there's a lot of, it's a very combo-centric concept, and it has a ton of potential just on the blue side. This card draws two cards, and you place two cards from your hand to the top or bottom of your deck. That's a really good ability, especially for blue. Draw two cards and then move two cards. Obviously, you have to move two cards and not discard two cards, or Nami completely abuses this on top of having it as a blocker. But sending two cards to the bottom of your deck, even in Nami, I feel like that refresh isn't heated. Put cards at the bottom of your deck that you might not need. Put cards at the bottom of your deck that you want to pick up at the end of your game as that last little push. Bad logic on that for Nami's side, but being able to get rid of cards that are bricking your hand early on isn't bad at all, I think. And your opponent doesn't know what you're putting back, so it's pretty cool, but it's just a very different cost for these cards. With that being said, let's jump into our SR, which is pretty crazy, I think. On play, if you have Whitebeard Pirates as your leader trait, and you have 2 or less life, which is kind of probably inevitable when you have 10 cost cards coming out like this. All of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of their next turn unless they discard 2 cards from their hand when they attack. That's, a stall tactic. As an opponent that sees this card hit the board, you're probably not attacking with your characters. You might, I just don't see the necessity to discarding the 2 cards from my hand unless it's like ending the game. If I can do this, attack with leader, attack with 1 character, and it ends the game, then this card isn't effective. But if I can stall out and I can scare my opponent, they don't have a lot of cards in their hand, they're not willing to pay that cost, then this card gets to attack the next turn. It might be a good choice. The other Whitebeard leader, or the other Whitebeard SR from early on set 2, has a very similar thing where it's kind of a stalling out effect. It gives you more power on your leader so that your opponent is less likely to attack into you. And then we have here another great card that is what I'm talking about when I'm saying there are combo potential with that leader. Reveal the top card of your deck and play it if it is a 4 or less. And then if it isn't, you can put it to the bottom of your deck or leave it at the top. That combos well as well. This whole combo concept is also part of their counter. For 3 cost, gain 3k power, and then bring a 3 cost or less Whitebeard pirate from the top of your deck. So you can set this up the turn before. You know you're not drawing into that top card. You've done everything you can. You place a Whitebeard pirate that is 3 or less to the top of your deck, and then you counter, gain 3k, so you're basically not taking a life and then gaining a 3 cost. So you get 3k counter for free. At least that's how I think about it. Then I think that's the end of really like talkable traits here. You could talk about Thatch being able to draw a card if he's going to be removed from the field. Situational. You can talk about the Searcher. It's not as good as the first Searcher event. It doesn't dig as deep, and that's about it. It can get Luffy's, but in a deck that relies on revealing Whitebeard pirates and playing Whitebeard pirates off the top of your deck, I don't imagine there's going to be a ton of Luffy cards that you'll be playing, but potential to play this over the first Searcher that we have. So we'll have ISO, we have a red event Searcher, we have a blue event Searcher. I would probably lean towards the red event the red Searcher from early on. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I can't. Okay, there it is. Top 5. Gain a Whitebeard pirate. So if I was going to play an event Searcher, I would play this. We obviously are going to be playing like our ISO. He's around here somewhere. And probably a lot of these red cards because they come with a ton of power from the earlier sets. So I would imagine that a lot of these cards come back up into relevance, especially ones that are within that combo-centric idea. And since we're thinking of blue, we could be playing that Sanji that does nasty stuff, the secret Sanji that came out. And then the last thing we will talk about is a new Moby Dick. Why not? During your turn, once per turn, when a character with Whitebeard pirate trait leaves the field due to an effect, draw 1 card, then place 1 card from the top, 1 card from your hand to the top or bottom of your deck. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough things in Whitebeard Pirates that bounces stuff to your hand as an effect that this would be relevant. The only one that I can think of after going through this stuff here is Jozu, that is a 6 cost, so it's a pretty expensive way to do it. And a non-leader locked effect like this is pretty nice. But it is very expensive. 6 costs. I don't know even if Nami is actually seriously considering this card, even though it has the potential to get aggression on the board, but as well as remove some of those really good on-play stuff that you want to get back to your hand. I don't even think that gets played in Nami. And thinking of like the other stuff in the set, I don't know if maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see what you would be playing to remove cards from your side of the field by effect to get that Moby Dick off. So I think that gets left on the side in a binder in a box somewhere. Going to where I am as I've been doing these videos, what did I learn in this set about these cards? Okay, what did I learn? The leader is great. He is not locked to a specific type of trait. He can just do his thing. I think that's incredible. We only talked about the Whitebeard stuff here, but red and blue is really good. It has a lot of remove potential otherwise, and red is really good. It has a lot of minus power and rush and all these things. So a red-blue combo is great. We love to see it. And I think the leader is the shining star of this set. And then we accompany it with a few of the blue cards here, a lot of the red cards from the past if you want to play Whitebeard Pirates. Or you make some nasty jank of all the good cards and you just play a very disgusting deck that gets to abuse the minus power, gets to abuse the extra draw power. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this set, is this leader, I think, has a ton of potential with the right cards underneath it. And we have enough sets under this game at this point that you're going to be worried about what red-blue archetype that this deck is going to bring, because I think it's playable in most archetypes. After that, other takeaways: be worried that your opponent's going to play this and be able to just abuse cards coming off of the top of their deck. I think that it's not going to be the core of it, though. I can't imagine that it's the main thing it does, just because there's not a lot of it. There's an event and there's a leader, and I think that's it that plays stuff off the top of the deck from this set. There's obviously the Sanji that comes very late game that could go a huge Sanji into a huge Whitebeard, but that's very situational. It's very end game, and you have to get to the end game for that to be relevant. And is that the best course of action for this deck? I'm not sure. I think there could be better ways of doing things. I think this is a good set for blue. I think this is a great leader, and I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Am I missing something? Am I completely off base? Is the leader not as good as I see it? Is it better than how I see it? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to get more One Piece TCG content, hit that subscribe. And until next time, peace.